Since this Nickelodeon show debuted in 2016, not only has The Loud House been crowned the top-rated children's animation series, it's been lauded as a feel-good show with positivity and good vibes. From its themes of acceptance, to its showcasing of a loving family, to the fun storylines that stem from childhood, The Loud House has put a smile on all of our faces. With that said, it isn't all fun and games in The Loud House though. There have been times when this show had some really dark moments which overshadow the joy and happiness that we've grown accustomed to. What's more, some interesting perspectives on the show have been revealed that turn it from an ordinary tale of childhood to a completely gloomy and saddening story about a family desperately trying to keep it all together. This is not Arrested Development.
First rule of survival, don't act like a total noob.
But we are noobs.
I'm Brad with Wicked Binge, and these are dark theories about The Loud House.
You've got nothing on me.
Lynn Loud's mental health. Remember Lynn Loud? Of course you do. She's the 5th oldest child in the Loud family and a prolific athlete. She plays just about every major sport, including lacrosse, football, hockey, and even rugby and baseball.
Football, lacrosse, ice hockey, baseball, basketball, and roller derby. I've won a championship for each sport.
Considering that there are 11 kids in the household, we wouldn't blame you if you forgot her. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with all these characters. In any event, with all the sports she plays, Lynn might seem like she's got everything together for herself. However, when you look closely, Lynn might not be all that right in the head.
Lynn, what the heck?
Rule number 3, never own up to making a mistake.
According to Reddit user Alex Zedkawa, Lynn Loud might be suffering from obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, or OCPD for short. Medical reports seem to suggest that those who suffer with this condition seem to be extremely inflexible when it comes to the way they feel, think, and behave. In other words, they are pretty tense and strict people. To be more specific, one of the major characteristics of this disorder is the need for strict adherence to rules and details, so much so that the person loses any happiness gained from doing a specific activity which would otherwise make them happy. In the episode Net Gains, Lynn is fixated and entrapped with taking home the trophy at a basketball tournament. Note that I said taking home the trophy, meaning that, for her, this wasn't so much of a team activity as it was a personal victory, so that she can earn another title for herself. In her quest for personal victory, she loses sight of the fun and the main point of playing, teamwork. Lynn seemed to have forgotten that there was no I in team.
Lynn, I'm wide open!
There's also the inherent need to be perfect at everything that she does. Does anyone remember that time in Season 3 where Lynn tells her teammates to let her be the one to score all the goals? Almost as if the only possible way that they could have won was through her involvement?
Okay, change of plans. As soon as you get the ball, throw it to me.
Sounds like Kobe Bryant. If this doesn't convince you, when her teammates wanted a shot at playing, she refused them, slyly suggesting that she is the only person who can win on her team.
Maybe we should all get to play now. Whoa. Let's not go crazy. We still want to win, right?
Another important characteristic to bear in mind is that people who have OCPD tend to enjoy hoarding things a lot. Now let's flash back for a second to the 3rd episode of Season 3, Instagram. In this episode, Lynn is shown to own what she believes to be lucky jerseys. She keeps these jerseys in a huge, unorganized heap on the floor. Because she views them as valuable, she's neither willing to dispose of them nor put them away. She keeps them right in her line of vision as a constant reminder of her prized lucky possessions.
Where are my lucky jerseys? They should be in a big messy pile right here.
People who have this disorder have impeccably high standards. They feel as if they, and only they, can accomplish a task perfectly. Therefore, when someone attempts to do it for the person in his or her stead, there will always be a conflict, as the OCPD patient will never be satisfied with the job done.
And if I don't hit the first ball, I'll have bad luck all season.
Returning briefly to Net Gains, it's clear that Lynn believes that she's the best. At first, she refused to allow others to play. To her, she would prefer to do the job herself. She sees herself as better than her teammates. This superiority complex is something which is noted across practically all persons diagnosed with OCPD. Lastly, we'll take a look at how she's so inflexible. People who suffer from OCPD tend to follow rules down to a T. We see a perfect example of this in Intern for the Worst, where Margot needs to use the bathroom. Lynn doesn't allow her to go to the bathroom as she feels that using the bathroom before a sports game brings bad luck to the team.
Can you hold my dog, on sanity? No, Margot, you cannot go number 2 until we are number 1.
Only after winning the game was the team allowed to go to the bathroom. This just goes to show how stubborn and unnaturally inflexible Lynn can be, proving that she has OCPD. Lincoln was adopted. Ever wondered why Lincoln had white hair? I mean, it's weird enough that he's the only son of the Loud family with 10 sisters, but why does he have to have white hair too? Well, Reddit user Plotty Scorpion believes that he has the solution for this puzzling problem. Lincoln isn't actually the biological son of the Loud parents. He's adopted.
Did you really think we wouldn't notice?
The logic is as follows. Initially, the Loud parents' dream was to have a son. When their first child, Lori, was born, and they realized that she was a girl, they were happy to bring new life into the world, but weren't particularly happy that the baby hadn't been a boy.
That's your plan? Teaching Lenny to drive? She can't even drive a lawnmower.
Still hoping to give birth to a boy, they tried again. Yet again, they were unsuccessful. They kept trying and trying, but were unable to have a boy. Realizing that this was an act in futility, they turned to adoption as a means to an end. If they couldn't have a boy through biological means, they would simply adopt one.
Just keep it on a leash.
This, my friends, is how Lincoln came about. He was adopted and integrated into the Loud family as their own. This would offer an explanation as to why there's hardly any similarity between him and his siblings, although an argument can be made for the twins Lola and Lana.
With 10 opinionated sisters, you gotta have a thick skin.
He has white hair, while all his other siblings have either blonde or brown hair. This would be quite a bit of a downer for the show, as it could possibly speak not only about Lincoln unknowingly living a distinguished life, but also the secrecy of his parents in hiding the truth from him. Lynn turned Lucy into an emo. In all honesty, this theory is not a huge surprise, especially when you examine the overwhelming evidence which can be used to support it. Before we get into the meat of the matter, we need to understand the dynamics clearly. Apart from the fact that Lynn and Lucy are roommates, we need to reinstate that Lynn is Lucy's older sister. During a child's formative years, if he or she has a bigger sibling, typically, that child gravitates toward that sibling as a sort of mentor. A child craves to be noticed, approved, and acknowledged by his or her older sibling.
Well, I wasn't there, but of course, as usual, no one noticed.
In this regard, it's likely that Lucy attempted to gain Lynn's attention as a child, but was sadly neglected by her older sibling. To provide a time frame, it's likely that this occurred when Lucy was 5 and Lynn was 8. Bearing in mind that at present, Lucy is 8 years old. Psychologically, this is an integral period in a child's life where his or her personality traits begin to take shape. Consequently, the sadness she felt as a child from being rejected obviously plays a part in the development of her individuality, and also explains her reclusiveness. She spends her time mainly writing poetry, away from the rest of the world.
Will someone please hand me my poetry journal? I have some very strong feelings to express.
After all, why on earth would Lucy purposefully seek dark, lonely places in the world in which she could stow herself away? Granted, Lynn is hardly in the room with her, so she does spend the bulk of her time in solitude. Perhaps the neglect she felt as a child didn't only make her antisocial, it also made her feel underappreciated by those around her. But why would Lynn harbor such negative feelings toward her own sister?
At least when things get bad, I can go to my secret dark place.
Well, there might be a good reason to explain why. In all likelihood, the room which the two sisters are currently living in belonged exclusively to Lynn prior to Lucy's birth. Having bonded immensely with her room, not only did she become territorial with her own space, she enjoyed being alone in her immediate surroundings.
It's so frustrating.
Therefore, the concept of sharing her room with another probably did not sit very well with her. So we can imagine a situation where Lynn treats her sister unfavorably because she, in effect, robbed her of her privacy. Unconsciously, Lynn started disliking her sister for this. Lucy, feeling the lack of affection from her older sister, one who she naturally admired, sadly turned into an antisocial emo with low self-esteem.
I couldn't let our sisters know I read Princess Pony. You know how they are. They'd make fun of me for the rest of my life.
There's no indication that Lucy may ever revert to being a normal girl. For all we know, the psychological damage she's suffering with is so extensive that she might be a lost case. But what do you think? With so many personalities in the show, we've only scratched the surface when it comes to darker theories that revolve around each character. Do you have any dark theories of your own? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. But most importantly, stay wicked.